Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 58 of the Beginner to Master Speedrun. It's been a while since I posted last episode. I've been traveling a lot, just finished a tournament in Biel, Switzerland, and in a few days I'll be playing in Trondheim, Norway. So I do very much apologize for the absence of speedrun videos, but I finally found the time to do an episode. And there is kind of one big thing I have to address before getting into today's games is my previous episode, as many of you had watched, I did lose my first game of the speedrun, but then a few days after I posted that episode, my opponent was actually banned for violating the chess.com fair play policy. So it's very likely that they probably got assistance when they played me, and I actually don't know what to do regarding the game and how that affects my streak. Um, it was technically a loss, and when I played the game, I did not think my opponent was cheating. But yeah, clearly chess.com is confident that they did violate the policy, and they actually gave me a rating refund. Got this message from chess.com. My rating was refunded 7 points back to where it was before I lost the game, 1969. So I'm not sure what I'll do with the streak, if I should just remove the game entirely and say that my win streak will continue. Should I make another category that says like rating refund, and that's now at a count of one? Let me know in the comments what you think the best approach would be. I don't want to put too much attention on this sort of thing. The main point of the series is to just play games, explain my thoughts, and hopefully be instructive for the viewers. So, with that out of the way, let's hop into the first game. And yeah, hopefully I'll work my way towards 2000 today. So, here we go. Okay, first opponent, playing Bokuku Teshi. I believe that's Albania, right? Albania. We have a French defense. And I'm going to play the two knights attack. If black played d5, I would have played knight c3, the beginning of the two knights. But e6 and g6, not the most common first two moves. This could go into a hippo where black will employ a double fianchetto. Looks like, yeah, black is either playing a weird hippo move order, maybe playing some kind of troll opening. With h6, yeah, I'm just going to keep developing. I'll put the bishop on d3. I didn't want to put it on c4 where it gets hit by pawn d5. And is black gonna... Okay, black finally develops a minor piece, bishop g7. So we'll go ahead and castle. Don't want to spend too much time in this opening. My opponent is decently high rated, so like, even though they're playing a somewhat passive opening here, this does have a solid reputation for black. Assuming black will complete the hippo setup, putting the bishops on the long diagonals and putting the knights in the center. And my main plan is just to complete development of my minor pieces and be as solid as possible. And I think I'll start here with bishop to f4. Just develop and then look to put the knight on d2. Looks pretty reasonable. Yeah, knight c6. So knight c6 actually gives me some options. In d5 is interesting, but I don't think I really want to even give black the option of taking on b2. So I'll start here with c3, very simply reinforcing d4, undermining the bishop, and I was going to say maybe preparing pawn d5. I don't think I can take on c7 here because pawn d6 would trap the bishop. But pawn d5 looks really nice, because if takes, the e-file opens, queen and knight would be hit. Yeah, let's go for d5. Looks like the knight's going to have to retreat to b8 or d8. If it moves to a5, then I can trap it with pawn b4. So yeah, I think we'll One of these moves is probably the best move for black. A move like e5 to counterattack the bishop walks into takes, and then I'm attacking the bishop on b7. So we see knight d8. And now, still want to give this move some attention. Like pawn d6, I would have bishop b5, king f8. Oh, and then I'm actually, I'm ready to take the knight. So maybe it's a question, like, do I want to snag the pawn and then trade? I'm not eager to trade off my, like, developed bishop for the very passive knight, but if I win material, a pawn is a pawn. I don't see anything, like, as appealing, so let's go for this. If black doesn't play d6, then maybe I can play d6. Provoke queen f8. This is looking real good for white. So d6, queen f8. I mean, I would give the knight a square back on c6. But then black would be very cramped on the king side. Okay, I'm going to go for this. Just feels good having the pawn on d6. And now, I probably go ahead and take. Like, take, and then e5. And yeah, everything is under control. Yeah, I just didn't want the knight to come back to c6 and my bishop to be stuck on c7. Yeah, you don't see this every day with white having pawns on e5 and d6, black's queen on f8, the king's still in the center. The dream would be to get my knight here, also remove this knight. I'm thinking of starting with bishop e4, like just to pin the knight and threaten c4. Black could try f5 here, but then, okay, I'd en passant, and then, yeah, whatever it takes back, I go for c4. It looks like black didn't quite see the threat there. Maybe they want to play g4. But after g4, there should be multiple nice ways for white to get a winning position. g4, knight d4. So life is pretty good here. Okay, knight f4, but that, of course, loses a bishop on b7. Black will maybe try and keep fighting, try and create some play on the king side. The issue is I'm just controlling so much space in the center, and yeah, it's really only the knight that's active for black. Go for knight d4. Possibly two moves away from checkmating here. Knight b5, let's go for it. I imagine black will see the threat, maybe go for some f-pawn push, or queen g8. Okay, so making room for the king. Yeah, the king is actually going to be safe on f8. So this could still take some work. Looking at queen d4, just to target the knight. I could have thrown in knight c7, but there's some possibility my knight doesn't want to like go in there and give black the free move to put the king on f8. Like maybe I just want to take on a7, clean up the queenside pawns. So now black's going to have to figure out how to hold on to the knight. Knight h3, wow. That's kind of a cool move. I don't think it works though. I can just take back. My bishop helps defend from a distance. And It still takes a move for black to open the g file, so of course here the threat is bishop takes e5, but I can sidestep the king, and okay, white's up 2 pieces here. I wonder if black is gonna like see the fact that my bishop controls g2 from a distance. Yeah, they tried to move the bishop and set up queen g2. And probably what I want to go for here is queen h4. Although queen h4 would threaten mate, but would also allow queen d3. So what's the best way to do this? Maybe rook e3. Rook e3 looks solid. Attacking h3, covering d3. Queen f5. Okay, now let's go for the mate threat. Threatening queen e7. And now if bishop f8, I have knight c7 checkmate. So the best try is probably f6. Now I would like to like take my own pawn. Knight takes d6 would be nice, but there's no way to actually remove my pawn from d6 so easily. If we see f6, I probably go for bishop e4. Get the bishop back to some more useful squares. Yeah, there were probably a lot of other like fine moves there. But I like this idea. The queen is very short on squares. If queen takes e5, I check and then win the queen. If you're here, I don't mind trading queens. And then I'll still probably have some mating ideas. Take. I could play rook f3. Yeah, actually rook f3 is almost forced mate. It threatens 2 different mates in one. Bishop g6 and knight c7 are both mate threats. I think this rook moving is the only way to stop both threats, giving the king a square. And now I still want to checkmate quickly. e5's hanging. If I play knight c7, king d8. It's kind of frustrating. I might be losing e5, but I'm up I'm up 2 pieces, so can't be complaining too much. Knight c3, bishop g6. I'll start with knight c7, trying to lock up the king. Actually realizing maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because now e5 and d6 are targets. Bishop b7, rook b8. Oh, I have an idea. Rook f7, bishop takes e5, bishop c6. That's probably totally unnecessary, but let's go for it. This might be the most efficient way to win. Bishop c6. So the point is, if takes, then it's mate in 2. It takes, king e8, rook e7, checkmate. I'm threatening mate in 1 with rook takes d7. Now I am leaving this, and this all attacked by the bishop. But if the bishop moves, I just checkmate. So I think the only move for black is to take, which my opponent finds. But now I win more material. Although I might lose, yeah, I might lose b2. And then I'll be up just a piece. Yeah, maybe I just made an unnecessary mess of this. If I take on d7, take on b2. Okay, let's simplify. I'll take on d7. I'll lose b2, I'll lose the a1 rook, but I'll win these pawns. Or my opponent won't take on b2. And yeah, then I'll just develop. Yeah, pretty funny game. Maybe not the cleanest game from either of us. Probably probably had better ways to convert. But the story continues. Be trying to go for a mating attack against the king. Looking at knight b5, king c5. Yeah, might as well start with knight b5. It prevents king c7. If king e5, it's a funny checkmate in the center of the board. Opponent doesn't walk into it. So go for a3. Maybe I just take on e6. And I'm up. What am I up? A rook and a knight. Now it's very close to mate. Threatening b4 checkmate. Or no, not checkmate. b4 king c6. And rook c7 isn't mate because the bishop covers c7. So I might have to bring my other rook in, like rook d1, and then b4. Yeah, let's start with b4. Oh, actually bishop d5 is mate. A lot of different checks, but there we go. Some nice coordination between the knight, bishop, and rook in the end there. Yeah, honestly, I don't know if there is like much to analyze in this game. Of course, if my opponent played d5, I would have been happy to go into a two knights French. But we'll save that for hopefully a future game. And I think one improvement for my opponent in such an opening, if they play this setup, they should not develop the knight to c6. Likewise, the knight should not come to f6 because of the potential for these center pawn expansions. Usually it's better just to play d6 and stick with the traditional Hippo setup. Because as we saw in the game, yeah, things got very pleasant for white very quickly. And yeah, maybe I had better moves. Oh, the engine finds a nice move here. Rather than playing d6, I could have played e5. I think I just rejected this move thinking that it loses a d5 pawn. But the point would be to support bishop d6. And this would trap the queen. And this would have been way more efficient than what happened in the game. So a bit of a miss, but still got some nice pawns. And yeah, one material. Black tried to get counterplay. And I think everything was under control. It did get a little bit messy here when I played bishop c6. Rook c7 was good from black. My opponent probably should have gone for this, and then I would have taken with check, and then taken on h3, and white's still up a knight, and yeah, probably going to win more material soon. So nice start, up to 1978. Let's keep it going. Okay, playing Amias 09. And what do I want to play? Play Sicilian. Go for knight c6. I'll play the Accelerated Dragon if white were to play an open Sicilian. White's playing the Rossolimo, which I've been encountering more recently at a high level. And against the Rossolimo, there are like a bunch of different moves for black in this position. What do I want to play? I'll play one of the more confrontational moves, knight f6. Simply attacking the pawn. And yeah, bishop takes c6 is very common. And here I'll take back with the d pawn. I know it's a common principle in chess to take towards the center, But the reason why black usually prefers taking with the d pawn is to just open the bishop for quick development. Now, I could play bishop g4 right away, but I'm going to start with the move queen to c7, very simply trying to prepare e5. And there are some cases where the bishop might just develop to e6. Like especially if white plays h3, then I'll play e5. And yeah, I'll have hopefully a nice fluid development in the center with the bishops. Okay, bishop to e3. I'm taking a pause here because if I play bishop e6 too soon, like that could walk into knight g5. So actually considering like developing this bishop first, deciding between bishop e7 or bishop d6. Go for bishop to d6. Not the happiest bishop, kind of blocked in by both pawns, but it does help control the center. And we see knight to d2. So some idea of knight c4. Actually leaning towards h6 here. Like just ensuring that I don't have to deal with knight g5. And I think next move I just want to plant the bishop on e6. And I don't really mind if black or if white takes on d6. I do lose back the bishop pair, so now we both just have knight and bishop. But white traded off my not so great bishop. And going forward, I could castle kingside, but there is a potential for attacking, maybe with g5, g4. If I play g5 right away, it's a super aggressive move. But kind of makes sense in the position. I'm gonna play g5. They put the question to white how to deal with this idea. Like if I get in one more move g4 and takes, then this pin is very hard to resolve. And this is actually one of the benefits of having not castled kingside is I can push my pawns on the king side and maybe castle queenside. Queen e1, interesting move. I was thinking maybe white would play knight h2 there. But here I think g4 is fine for black. Now the g-file is pretty much guaranteed to open. I could take with knight or bishop. I'll still take with bishop. Now I'm not pinning the knight, but I mean, I got rid of the g-pawn, ready to play rook g8. I do probably want to save my bishop. Or do I? White has ideas of f4 now. So it could get spicy. Yeah, the drawback to retreating the bishop, like to e6 or h5, is after f4, white does get some pretty quick counterplay. If I play rook g8, then like if white takes and I'm gaining time and entering white's territory. Okay, I'm going to play rook g8. I think it's more important to prioritize just getting my pieces into play rather than preserving my bishop. And with this move, I might be threatening bishop to h3. I'm not at all scared of bishop takes h6. Almost certainly a poison pawn. White plays king h1. Okay. So getting off the g-file. Considering knight h5 here, just to get the knight, give the knight access to f4. Yeah, let's go for this. This is also prophylaxis against white playing f4. I think this is actually a pretty key square in the position. And I'm still offering the trade. Like if takes, I take with rook. And then I'll be ready to double on the g-file. White plays queen c3. Okay, so now there's two attackers against c5. A simple move is probably b6 here. Just play it quickly. Yeah, this is a very typical Rossolimo pawn structure, like with the double c pawns. I know double pawns sometimes have a reputation of being weak, but these are actually very solid. c5 is well defended. They do control a lot of squares. I probably won't mind castling queenside. If white ever plays a4 to try and open the a-file, I could respond with a5. Just keep the queenside closed. This could lead into like a very sharp attacking game. Like if I do castle queenside, then it should be easier for black to attack on the king side, I would hope, compared to white's attacking on the queen side. But a3 is a sign that white wants to play b4. So if I castle b4, it might be a little bit unpleasant. My queen is tied down to e5, so I was thinking queen g6, but might take some preparation. I could play knight f4 here. Getting a little bit low on time. I'll go for knight f4. Because otherwise my knight wasn't really serving a clear purpose on h5. And this is leading to some simplification. But I would like to think my bishop is more useful than white's knight. White's going for b4, okay, so I almost certainly don't want to allow white to take on c5. I'm thinking queen d4 here. Transform the position, maybe fix my double pawns. Like, I don't want to take and then takes and the a-file's open, my king's a bit airy. Okay, let's go for this. Yeah, I really thought the game was going to be more tactical, but if we trade queens, then it's just going to be very positional. And I should be in decent shape, having a bit more space with the pawns. Probably take a while for the knight to find a happier place. Yeah, white might play queen d2. It's actually an interesting move. Keeping the tension. Yeah, slightly annoying move too. If I play c4, I might not have a way to defend the pawn, actually. If I take... Taking is not what I want either. The queen d2 is actually very strong. Rook f... Rook, or rook g5 maybe. Takes. Yeah, it's kind of ugly. Let me go for rook g5. So this keeps the tension between the queenside pawns. I'm losing the f pawn. And, I mean, this was not a move I wanted to play earlier, but I feel like I have to try and win back material. I'm realizing now if I take, there's rook takes a7. Oof. But what else to do? I could play a5 maybe? Or maybe I allow rook a7. Yeah, let's go for this. So just to show, rook a7, rook takes a7, queen b8, and I lose back the rook, but maybe my king finds some shelter, and then it's possible I have counterplay queen d2 ideas. There's also queen f6, wow. Yeah, I have to be super careful here. Thinking queen c7 was possible as well. And what to do? Queen d2 threatening mate, but then rook g1. So I think I have to play this. And if queen h8, then I play this. Yeah, white's playing a good game. Keeping pressure. I'm very relieved to trade queens, though. Now we have an endgame. Materials equal. White has a nice singular pawn island. I do have this active rook. If f5, I have to retreat the bishop. Probably to c8. I'm thinking the rook will just stay here and support the pawn. Rook c2. Rook f2. Maybe rook c3? Making sure there's no c4 move. I have to speed things up too. In a bit of trouble. Yeah, I'd much rather prefer white's position over black's, but it's double-edged. I mean, white has this pawn mass, but I do have some queenside potential. Like, I do have the outside passed a pawn. I might end up playing f6. Like, yeah, if white plays f6, I can't play king g6 because knight e5. So I have to play this move. But now I have bishop e6. Rook a6. Yeah, I think that's a good move. I have bishop c8. Are we going to repeat? Like, the rook moves back, I move back. I'd like to keep the game going. Maybe rook c5 eventually. Yeah, if rook a6, I probably play rook c5. But that walks into d4. Okay, I'm trying it. And if d4, I'd probably move back. And do I have rook d8? Rook e2. Bishop c4 is almost working. It seems like white is content with a draw, but I'm not. My thought is rook g5 and c5. Looks really risky. Now the rook's out of play. I do have this idea as well. Oh, I also have this idea. I'm threatening to take in bishop c4, and the rooks can't defend each other. Okay, so somehow this maneuver, white defends, but maybe this move? No. What about c5? That was a good move. Start with check. c3 is probably coming. Getting low on time. Definitely feeling the pressure here. Expecting rook a6 back. Probably trade on d4. Maybe eventually sack the a-pawn. White doubles. Play a5. The pawn's tied down to defending the knight. Oh, I missed a free rook. Ah, we both missed it. Oh, that's a big miss. I have to take. Going after this pawn. If either rook defends, I take on e5 because there's a pin. And if takes, I take. White defends. It's a good move. I play this. I want to take and then take on d4. Okay, 2 rooks and 3 pawns per side. f6 is weak, although a5 is weak. Any mating ideas? This and this? 25 seconds. I'm allowing rook g1. Probably best to take a draw here. The white's fighting for a win. It's a time scramble. I think I'm going to be a little bit faster. Probably should have taken the pawn there. Wow, what a game. Okay, I won on time. This might be the first dirty flag of the speedrun. My opponent played really, really well, like throughout the game. Um, I I was almost certainly worse in the middle game, maybe losing at some point. We can go through and see, I mean, hopefully take away a few lessons. This queen c7 move, I didn't mention it when I played it, but I'm pretty sure this is a move that Fabiano played against Pragnananda in the candidates. And it was what was it, the penultimate round, and he won with black. But it's a trendy idea, preparing this e5 move. And my opponent, I mean, just played a very solid game, put the pieces on decent squares, went for the trade on d6. Queen e1 was a fine move. And yeah, the engine is saying that this is nothing special for black. King h1. Although it's saying also that it's just kind of close to equal. I think a3 was a smart idea to create this b4 break. And yeah, takes, f3. And here, yeah, it's interesting. The engine is preferring black's position, but instead of queen d4, it's saying h5, which didn't even cross my mind because white can take. And then the point is after takes. I guess black is doing well because the knight is very out of play and the pawns aren't easy for white to attack. Maybe some c4 ideas. But I went for queen d4. And at some point the position turned sour. I guess in this moment. Wow, so I would have been okay if I castled queenside here. Another move that was not on my radar. It is legal to castle even if the queen's controlling b8, as long as the king doesn't move through check. This just looks really risky. I assume the point is to accelerate the attack on the king side. And taking... Yeah, this was somewhat self-destructive. And then this ending, I mean, white was better for sure. Had the connect four. And then going forward... I kept turning down the repetition with bishop c8, rook moving, coming back to a6. Okay, here apparently bishop c4 is good for black. Played rook g3. White was better again. And my opponent dropped a rook. I think I just trusted my opponent. Played a5 a little bit too quickly. Missing bishop takes a2. And then the rest of the game, it was equal. Yeah, white's holding on here. Like, even though I have both rooks on the second rank and the king on g1, black has nothing more than perpetual. I was trying to get my pawn to h3 to create some mating ideas, but I completely overlooked rook to g1. And, I mean, this should just be a draw, but I think my opponent tried to flag me and then move too slowly, and then, of course, we all know what happened, one on time. So, okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. That was a stressful game. Hope you guys enjoyed the games today. And I do have my over-the-board tournament coming up in a few days in Trondheim, Norway, but I'll try and put out at least 1 or 2 more speedrun episodes before then. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys soon.